Do co-ops exist in New York City which permit unlimited subletting? We'll demystify this topic in the following video. I'm Nick at Houseit. Visit houseit.com to learn how to save money if you're buying, selling, or renting real estate in New York City, Long Island, the Hudson Valley, or South Florida. So let's get started. So, do co-ops exist in New York City which permit unlimited subletting? Well, the answer is yes. There are a handful of co-op buildings in New York City which do allow unlimited subletting. Now, some of them may require you to live in the building for an initial occupancy period, perhaps up to 1 year, maybe 2 years, and thereafter you may be allowed unlimited subletting. But why are we asking this question? What's wrong with condos? Why are you looking for co-ops which allow unlimited subletting? Well, the long and short of it is that co-ops in New York City are anywhere from 10 to 40% less expensive. So even if you're looking for an investment property, ideally a condo, you soon realize that perhaps they're a little bit too expensive, doesn't work for your parameters of your investment criteria, and as a result, you ask the question, are there co-ops with unlimited subletting? So the answer is yes. Now, the question therefore is, how do you find them? What we'll say in New York City is that there really is no central database or repository of information which gives us enough detail about buildings and their subletting policies across the city. So there's no way currently to filter buildings by sublet policy because of the fact that A, there are so many different varieties of subletting policies, and it's not just like yes or no to subletting. It could be, 2 out of every 5 years. It could be a lifetime cap of 1 year or a lifetime cap of 2 years. It's just not conducive to there being any sort of searchable database. And in addition, if you're in the business or as you start looking for apartments, you'll soon realize that arguably co-ops and condos in New York City are pretty disorganized when it comes to the paperwork for the buildings. And by that we mean, let's say the co-op has a policy. The policy was put in place when the building first became a co-op. That was 40 years ago. Well, they've changed the policy since then. Maybe they changed it 2 years ago. Maybe there was just a shareholder vote 3 months ago. But the building probably still hasn't even updated their official sublet policy, nor have they probably even updated the sublet application for the building. So there's A, really no way to categorize the information, and B, the information itself is routinely out of date because co-ops are pretty slow to get organized in the city. Anyhow, so back to that question, how do you find a co-op with unlimited subletting? We've already established that there's no way to efficiently search for them using any sort of drop-down or existing filter. That being said, the best way to do it is pretty much to use a keyword search on third-party real estate websites. For example, you can search for the phrase unlimited subletting, and hopefully that will search through all the listing descriptions, and it may pull up a handful of co-ops that have unlimited subletting. Now, the key is you're going to have to be creative with the terms you search for and the portals you search on because the search algorithms are not all made equally across the various sites. So it's a little tougher to find, but rest assured, if you are looking for one and you're insistent on it, you will be able to find one. That being said, we do want to implore you to think a little bit about whether or not you should actually buy a co-op with unlimited subletting if your objective is to buy an investment property. And here's why. Rules in buildings can change, as we alluded to. So a building that allows unlimited subletting today could change that tomorrow and prohibit subletting altogether, or they could implement a cap. So instead of it being unlimited, it's now, say, 2 out of every 5 years. In either of these two cases, you're going to have to sell the property at some point, and that's going to cost you money. You're going to have to pay seller closing costs and so forth. And the third risk with a co-op that permits unlimited subletting is that, hey, they could raise the fee for subletting. Now, co-ops typically do charge some sort of annual fee for the privilege of subletting. And the risk is, let's say a couple of apartments turn over in the building, the composition of the board changes, and a couple people move in, who feel like they own the place, who feel like they own the whole building, and they don't like investors. So they'll start putting things in motion that will either make it impossible and not allowed for you to sublet, or B, they'll basically tax you to strongly discourage you from doing it in the hopes that you eventually sell. So if you are looking for an investment property, be mindful of the fact that you don't have any long-term guarantees that you'll be allowed to sublet in perpetuity with a co-op, even if they do allow it at the time of your original purchase. So we hope you found this video to be helpful. We can help save you money here at Houseit. If you're buying, selling, or renting real estate in New York City, you can learn how by visiting houseit.com. That's Houseit with an A. I'm Nick at Houseit, and we hope to see you on the next one.